Legend has. And with Bo being as popular as it was in Europe for 2022, I feel like this is the perfect pick for him. So I'm excited to see how this plays out here. Scythe really hasn't lost too much. There was an adjustment to Scythe neutral air, so if you're whiffing that move, allegedly it should be more punishable, but the adjustment to it I feel like hasn't been felt by too many Scythe players, so they're going into this season feeling pretty comfortable with it, which is why the Giro is something of note that we haven't seen so far, but is a discussion. Sgrape in the meantime is like, I don't care, Ryan Downsig got nerfed. I'm still amazing at lands.
Yeah, you're still going to be on the edge, and I'm going to throw it out 10,000 times.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter really which weapon he has in his hands. He's going to throw out the lance Decisive, he's going to throw out the spear Decisive. But over on the side of the Moonin coming out from Neeze, one thing that one of the few Moonin players out there, he ends up picking that one up, getting through the iframes. But one thing that like one of the few Moonin players we see placing highly in tournaments, as Modi I'm talking about, was she was having trouble getting knockouts. That was her biggest problem. She couldn't find the KO conditions that she needed to take stocks. We'll see if Neeze is able to do that. We already saw it coming out with the neutral signature, which is something that is, of course, inherent completely to this legend rather than just the Scythe.
Yeah, nice job dodging out the neutral sig from Sgrape here. And already we see Sgrape getting that spear recovery. I was going to say struggling to get the same strings that we saw in the previous matchup, but he gets it right there as I was in the middle of the sentence. Neeze looking for that pickup, finds the bow, sidelight down air. Oh, and he goes for the ground pound and Neeze! What? Sgrape gets hit by the bow ground pound in response. The weapon throw was too stacked to activate. We saw it bump Neeze on the head because if you are like literally stacked on top of each other in Brawlhalla, your weapon throw is not going to be active for a certain amount of time. So if you're too close there, you're not going to be able to get that point blank hit. You still get that ground pound through, and then if you get hit by the weapon throw afterwards, who cares? You still got your hit, and bow ground pound is the greatest ground pound to hit at early damage. You're going to get those knockouts super early on, and Sgrape ends up getting punished for it, but there's the downside that we were talking about. Nerfed, who cares? It's a really good move still. There's
It's
a reason why I
such
got
a good
adjusted.
move.
Yeah, we were just... The change just stopped it from knocking out guaranteed from the center. like that's what happened there. Sgrape now with a edgeguard opportunity gets fought back by Neeze as Neeze is fighting back with the bow.
I feel like you could take that Decisive and you could remove basically all of the damage. You make it do 1 damage, and you keep probably like 80% of the force on it.
Yeah.
I think it's still going to be a good move. Oh, Neeze completely backing up from that. Not even a weapon toss to throw down and bonk on the head.
Neeze was looking at Sgrape. He's like, you are too crazy for me. I'm not going to go off stage again. Because last time Neeze punished it with the ground pound, but in a last stock scenario, it might be too risky there. Sgrape, 1 pogo, goes for the weapon throw, D-light in air. Not enough damage here on the Fortress of Lions. Dash jumps forward, Sgrape hoping for a weapon spawn, and that Sair from center is enough force coming out from Neeze to take game number 1. Really well played coming out from Neeze. I think that despite Sgrape bringing it back there on the second stock, I really gave that game's momentum in favor of Neeze that entire time on the Hugin. We saw that ground pound there, which was fantastic, and then this falling cider way to play the Scythe like it's an axe. I mean, believe it or not, Scythe Sair is actually really good. It scales with knockback fantastically with damage, even though you're like, I'm playing Scythe. I want to do my Nair into Dare into Nair into whatever. You can just hit them once and you can get the knockout. So now we are seeing the first of the low defense legends here coming out. Ada, I actually am so surprised. So I don't know too much about Sgrape.
It's the same Decisive.
At
the end of the day, it's kind of the same Decisive on Sphere.
So I don't know too much about Sgrape's entire legend pool outside of what I've been seeing with the Orion. I think that the Orion's been the most reported legend. Ada is a character that a lot of players are like, I can't wait for this character to become good, because theoretically they think Ada gets very, very good, but the stat distribution and her strength with her signatures has just not been enough for people to justify the pick. So to see Sgrape bring this out in game number 2 against Neeze is very exciting. We've got blasters and spear, a very low defense, but very high everywhere else. So let's see how this plays out here in game number 2, as we're seeing Sgrape's blasters for the first time this year. Oh, the down sig avoided, but he dodges in, but not far enough for the drift. Sair going high, Nair catching him, and that's almost absolutely a product of Ada's low defense there as to why that knocked out when it did.
Oh,
that was so stylish.
That
was so sick.
You saw him standing there. He said, I got iframes.
That was on reaction. That was on reaction of the downlight too. He waited for the bow attack to come through. He went like, okay, well there's no chainsaw effect here. Once that move comes through, I can just get that pickup down sig. He like
ran away from it.
He like stepped in between each musical note. Like that was some amazing footsies. He dodges right underneath the down sig again, but Neeze really like fearlessly applying the pressure with the downsig on the bow from Hugin.
That was straight up. That's Rambo running away from the helicopter that's firing at him, and there's a bullet to his right and a bullet to his left, and he's just hauling through the middle.
Yeah, that's absolutely the maneuver that Sgrape pulled out here. That downer comes through. That's going to be the stock there. And Neeze, I mean, despite Sgrape doing a great job surviving the bullet hell, he's not getting any hits back, right?
Yeah.
You're playing a survival game at this point. We've got to. This isn't actually what's happening here. It's a 1v1 Sgrape. We've got to get some damage on the Neeze here. That Nair covers one downer. Nice shot with the jumping dare.
Yep.
Yeah, you knew it too. And even though it didn't hit, there's no way Neeze could have drifted to the stage. Neeze ends up sweating and falling down, and that's a super early stock coming up from Sgrape. And I love that you called out that GC instinct because it never in a million years crossed my mind. If I was Neeze, I was getting hit by that move.
That's exactly the point that I was about to make before he did it.
Yeah.
Was that Ada has like these game-changing signatures. Like being able to throw out that signature on the edge with all of the active frames as an edge guard apparently doesn't matter for Neeze, who's going to take this one.
Yeah, that is fantastic. Neeze is such a reactive player, and it's really fantastic as well because as he's getting hit, he's using these hits as opportunities to reposition himself and go, okay, here's where I'm expecting to go. Because in the middle of this offstage scrap, he's like, all right, even if you hit me on the way back to this recovery, I'm just going to buffer the ground pound. He's sitting on the side of the stage, and like almost reflexively was like, I expect you to do some kind of wake-up move here, and he goes for the Nair, and he gets the ground pound, and that's going to be the stock. Even without the force to knock out, it was still going to do it, and Sgrape goes right back to the Black Knight. And they're like, okay, I brought the Ada, I tried it, it felt good, but I don't feel like it's going to be what it's going to get me the win against a player like Neeze. Here we go to Miami Dome, and Sgrape's got to work his way through a reverse 3-0 to take down Neeze, who's looking fantastic on Hugin, as those downsigs are applying a ton of pressure. But here's the Lance that we saw Sgrape really get a ton of mileage on against the Ninja 729, and I'm hoping we get to see him do well with again against Neeze here in Game 3.
I feel like Vector's Lance D-Sig walked so that this D-Sig on Bow could run. Because if you just took out Munin and put in the old Vector, well, I guess the current Vector signature before we actually get the rework in there into the main build rather than just experimental. Like, it's a similar signature, but, like, one, Neeze is using really well, and the other one is not so great.
Yeah, oh man. Sgrape sidelight down, like goes for the neutral signature. If he pivoted that would have been huge. The Sair from Neeze almost has enough forces to take down Sgrape, but no, the recovery comes through, gets a bit of extra damage. Sidelight in the end light, didn't get the dodge down. Neeze, wow, Sgrape's movement on the Lance is incredible. Goes for that slide charge side stick on the platform. That's a 3-stock to 1 lead, all off the Lance right now. I mean, we can't see the damage numbers right now, but I guarantee you that it's very high for Sgrape's Lance at the moment because Neeze has struggled to get anything rolling here. D-Light recovery finally takes down 1 stock. Let's see if he can do the reverse 3-stock here because this has been a great game for Sgrape so far.
I mean, that's the way the Lance was against Ninja previously, is the Lance was the main tool. The Spear had a lot going for it as well. It's not like he was a one-trick pony whatsoever, but it was primarily the Lance. That's what the most destruction was coming out with, rather than just the cheeky D-Sig or maybe a D-Light side or D-Light recovery, ground pound on the edge or anything like that. It's really been the Lance from Sgrape, which is why he's playing this legend. If you're a Spear player, you're not necessarily going towards the Orion. You're going for like the Hattori out there.
Oh, nice punish on
Beautiful.
that neutral signature. Sides that carries him all the way off the side of the stage. Going to edge guard here. Waits for the wall slip. Gets the down air. Wall slip still activated here. He's sweating. Can he make it back? I don't think. He's got the dodge. Weapon throw. Ground pound. He drifts around the ground pound there unarmed. Makes it back to the stage. And now Neeze, with an opportunity to come back, has a much harder game to play here as Sgrape's trying to catch these landings. And the down sig on stacked. That was... I've never even seen that angle of knockback from that move. What was that?
It must have been bounced off the ground.
No, I think it was just like there's like this area where the blast, the very top of the laser on the down tick hits, and he just went straight up. Let's see it. We're gonna get there.
It'll be last one, so look, they should give us the juicy slow-mo on it.
And here's hoping. He's in the air.
We're gonna get some slow motion gaming.
Slow motion on the side stick whiff. Oh, look at it, and then we're there. We're chilling. He's gonna go for the weapon spawn, and oh, we're almost there, Sparky.
Whiffs the side air using his drift.
Yeah. Wait, his foot was like on.
It was like on the Lance itself.
Yeah,
that's
one of those
cuffling or whatever that little fella's called at the end.
Wacky hitboxes. Okay, that was the cider from earlier. But anyways, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so he definitely didn't bounce. He was like.
Yep. I thought for some reason he hit it on the platform.
I thought he outspaced it, and he did it.
Well, be careful, Tazza. He's right behind you.
Whoa.
He's so big. You just see the chest of Orion so big. Watch out, Tezza. Oh, no.
Make the match. Neeze on Lara Croft here. Okay, so this is interesting. I didn't think it was going to take just one loss like that to switch off of the Hugin for Neeze. But Neeze in this game number 4, I guess felt like it was so dominant that he wants to try out bringing out the Diana. Lara Croft epic crossover for Diana. We saw Acno playing with that earlier on, so the bow is sticking through, but the scythe has gone here. As both players now have been like, okay, I'm going to have my transfer over weapon, and then we're going to try the blasters in this matchup and see how it works out. And I have a feeling that Neeze is going back to Hugin after this game 4 if it does not go the way that he expects it.
There is a possibility. The momentum that Sgrape has right now after taking that was a little bit of an early down signature. Maybe was expecting a fast fall into it coming out from Neeze. But the Diana pick is the 3rd highest level legend. You're picking that up in the middle and still find the KO off of the bounce. A lot of damage was added up on Sgrape's first stock.
The spirit of the move center stage. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
like looking at that, I'm kind of like, oh.
Bro, just D-Light recovery.
Well,
if you're going to do that.
No, I'm just like, you shouldn't even think about using that unless it's the cheese, but whatever. I guess it's just good. Now
Look,
I just have to accept
after
that.
Sgrape got like the vertical up from his D-Sig, Neeze needed to grab a weird one of his own.
Yeah. That is correct. Sgrape a little bit behind, tries to catch a landing with a side light a little early. Oh, the neutral sig, what a great option there. D-Light ground pound and Neeze quickly eliminates that second stock from Sgrape. I thought he had a chance to come back, but one with side light and he is out of there. He's now on 1 stock here, tournament stock. For the winner's bracket, and D-Light side light Nair comes through. Sgrape gets it. Okay, nice job on the jump reads here on the side airs. He's got nothing left. Oh, and Sgrape is a little too high. Neeze makes it back. He gets a ton of damage for it. Side light Nair into side sig. He's gone for that a few times and never has gotten it to connect. They're always dodging straight through instead of away, and Sgrape, D-Light, X-Pivot, Nair, Neeze is just rolling all over him with these blasters here. Tries to go in for that landing downlight. I think that downlight just wouldn't even work anymore.
Yeah, even the old one, I don't know if that would have hit, because Sgrape, you saw him in the air very quickly. He might have been above it regardless of the nerf that the D-Light got from blasters.
So far, it's just D-Light recovery. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Neeze on the blasters are showing that the Hugin was actually just a feint. The Lara Croft is what he's got prepared for those particular situations. So we saw that down tick bounce off the center of the stage, and that was 372 damage with the blasters. Not even 100 with the bow. Really answering Sgrape's style of play there with that weapon as he moves forward with a 3-1 victory into winner's side of top 8.
That is the level 65 Lara Croft coming out from Neeze, his 3rd highest leveled legend. The ones before are the Asuri at level 68 and the Mordex at level 93. But that is going to be our winner's side of the top 8 figured out, ladies and gentlemen. We have Defi versus Machete. We have